The most measured man in the world, a man who measures his sleep, his food, his blood, his heart, his skin, his biological age, almost everything. A man who collects data from his body every single day. A man who has spent millions of dollars trying to slow down aging. That same Bryan Johnson was diagnosed with a disease that has been silently sitting inside his body for years. And the most shocking part, the problem was not in his heart, not in his brain, not in his liver. The problem was in his stomach. And Bryan Johnson describes it like this: my stomach is eating itself. Now, the question is, if the world's most measured man could not catch this disease early, then what about an ordinary person? If a man who checks his biomarkers every day, who tracks his blood tests, supplements, food, sleep, exercise, hormones, and inflammation, if even inside his body an autoimmune disease can silently grow, then how many silent signals from our own bodies are we ignoring? And from here, the story is no longer just about Bryan Johnson. It becomes the story of every person who thinks fatigue is normal, who thinks low iron is only a diet problem, who thinks vitamin B12 deficiency is just a small weakness, and who ignores silent stomach damage until the body finally screams for attention. In this video, we will understand Bryan Johnson's shocking diagnosis. What exactly is autoimmune gastritis? How can the stomach attack itself? What is the connection between the thyroid and the stomach? Why can iron and B12 deficiency become the first clue of this disease? And most importantly, if your blood tests are coming back normal, could there be a silent disease happening inside your body? By the end of this video, you will understand that Bryan Johnson's story is not just a celebrity diagnosis. It's a warning sign. Johnson is not an ordinary health influencer. He is a tech entrepreneur, a millionaire, and he is famous around the world because of his Don't Die mission. His goal is simple: to slow aging, to reverse biological age, and to optimize the human body through data. Every day he follows a strict routine: fixed diet, fixed sleep, fixed exercise, hundreds of measurements, advanced medical tests, supplements, doctors, researchers, and a health system where every number is tracked. But still, one number was repeatedly giving him a warning: ferritin, which is body iron stores. Let's understand ferritin in simple language. Ferritin is like the iron storage tank of your body. Hemoglobin in the blood can be normal, but if ferritin is low, it means the body's iron stores are becoming empty. In Bryan Johnson's case, this was the clue. His biomarkers were showing low ferritin, and the question was, where is the iron going though? His diet is controlled. His health monitoring is at the extreme level. So why is there iron deficiency? From here, doctors started a deeper investigation, and eventually through endoscopy and stomach biopsy, the diagnosis came forward: autoimmune gastritis. Now this name sounds a little technical, autoimmune gastritis, but let's understand it through a simple story. Your immune system is usually the security guard of your body. Its job is to protect you from viruses, bacteria, infections, and foreign attackers. But in autoimmune disease, this same security guard becomes confused. It forgets the difference between the enemy and your own body's cells. And then it starts attacking your own organs. In some people, the immune system attacks the thyroid, in some it attacks the joints, in some the skin, in some the pancreas. And in autoimmune gastritis, the immune system attacks special cells inside the stomach. These special cells are found in the upper and middle part of the stomach. They are called parietal cells. Their job is very important. They produce stomach acid, and they also produce a protein called intrinsic factor. Stomach acid is not only needed to digest food, it also helps the body absorb iron. And without intrinsic factor, the body cannot properly absorb B12. Now imagine this: you are eating healthy food, you are taking supplements, you are following a routine, but the stomach cells that help absorb nutrients are slowly being destroyed. So the food is going inside, but the nutrients are not properly reaching the body. This is the dangerous silent part of autoimmune gastritis. The most confusing angle of this disease is that in the beginning, the patient does not necessarily have stomach pain. Many people do not have acidity. Many people do not have vomiting. Many people do not have obvious digestion problems. So the person thinks, my stomach is fine. But the real problem is happening inside the stomach at the lining level. Damage is happening inside the body. but the symptoms can appear somewhere else: fatigue, weakness, brain fog, hair loss, shortness of breath, numbing or tingling, low iron, low vitamin B12, mood changes, and sometimes thyroid problems. This means the disease is in the stomach, but the signal can appear throughout the body. And this is where Bryan Johnson's story becomes even more interesting. According to the reports, he was diagnosed with hypothyroidism at a young age. Hypothyroidism means the thyroid gland becomes slow. And the connection between autoimmune thyroid diseases, especially Hashimoto's thyroiditis, and autoimmune stomach disease has been discussed in medical literature. This connection is sometimes called Thyrogastric syndrome. In simple words, if the immune system is attacking one organ, like the thyroid, then in some people, the immune system may also target another organ, like the stomach. This is not a guarantee, but the connection is important. That is why in thyroid patients, unexplained iron deficiency, vitamin B12 deficiency, or chronic fatigue should not be taken lightly. Now, here's a very important open loop. A man like Bryan Johnson, who has access to the best doctors, the best testing, and the best health tracking, even he needed a stomach biopsy to confirm the diagnosis. What does this mean? It means routine blood tests sometimes show only the surface. Your hemoglobin may be normal, your basic report may look normal, but ferritin may be low, vitamin B12 may be borderline, antibodies may be positive, the stomach lining may be damaged, and until an endoscopy with biopsy is done, the disease may not be confirmed. This is the point where ordinary people often get lost. They say, my reports are normal, but the body's signals are not normal. Another dangerous part of autoimmune gastritis is that the disease is slow. It does not happen in one day. It can silently develop for years. First, stomach acid becomes low, then iron absorption is affected. Then ferritin becomes low, then anemia can appear, then B12 deficiency can develop. And in the long term, the stomach lining can become atrophic. Atrophic means the tissue becomes thin and weak. It starts to decrease in size also. In other words, the stomach lining starts losing its normal strength, and this is why ignoring this disease can be dangerous. Because this is not just gastritis, this is chronic autoimmune damage. Now, it's important to clear a common mistake here. Not every gastritis is autoimmune gastritis. Common gastritis can also happen because of spicy food, painkillers, alcohol, stress, or H. pylori bacteria. But autoimmune gastritis is different. In this condition, the body attacks its own stomach cells. That is why simply taking antacids, acidity syrup, or random stomach medicine is not in the solution. If the real problem is autoimmune, then the treatment focuses on correcting deficiencies, replacing B12, monitoring iron, observing the stomach lining, and keeping long-term follow-up under a doctor's guidance. When Bryan Johnson said, "My stomach is eating itself," it was a dramatic line. But medically, it means the autoimmune system is damaging important cells in the stomach lining. The body has turned against itself. And look at the irony. The man who is on a mission to delay death was challenged by a disease that was silently growing inside him. This story has a viral potential because it has everything: a celebrity, shock, mystery, science, and most importantly, a lesson for ordinary people. Now you may be thinking, how do I know if I have this problem or not? First of all, do not self-diagnose, but also do not ignore warning signs. If you repeatedly experience unexplained fatigue, if iron deficiency keeps coming back, if ferritin remains low, if vitamin B12 is low or borderline, if you have autoimmune thyroid disease, if anemia appears in your blood tests, or if you have weakness, brain fog, numbness, hair loss, or dizziness even without stomach symptoms, then it is most important to discuss proper evaluation with a doctor, especially if the deficiency keeps returning even after treatment. Let's understand this with a powerful example. You are putting fuel in a car, but the car is not running properly. You think the fuel quality is bad, so you put in more expensive fuel, but still the car runs weakly. Later, the mechanic tells you the problem was not in the fuel, the problem was fuel line. Something similar can happen in the body. You are eating healthy food, you are taking supplements, but if the absorption system is damaged, then nutrients do not properly reach the body's cells. In autoimmune gastritis, the problem is often less about what you are eating and more about whether is your body actually absorbing it. Bryan Johnson's case reminds us of another important thing. Data is powerful, But interpretation of data is even more powerful. Low ferritin is not just a number, it can be a clue. Low vitamin B12 is not just a vitamin deficiency, it can be a signal of an absorption problem. A thyroid disease may not be an isolated problem, it may be part of body's immune pattern. In medicine, sometimes the body gives puzzle pieces, and the doctor's job is to connect those pieces and see the real picture. In Bryan Johnson's case, ferritin, thyroid history, endoscopy, and biopsy, all the pieces came together. Only then did the picture become clear. Now the question is, can autoimmune gastritis be cured? According to the current standard medicine, there is no simple tablet that completely cures autoimmune gastritis. Reversing the damage is not easy, but the disease can be managed. Vitamin B12 injections or supplementations, iron replacement, monitoring deficiencies, endoscopy follow-ups, surveillance for cancer risk and neuroendocrine tumor risk, and long-term care under a doctor's guidance. Bryan Johnson's interest here is in research. He is not treating the disease only as his personal problem. He is looking at it as a scientific challenge. But for ordinary people like you and me, the message is simple. Before running after experimental solutions, basic diagnosis and proper medical follow-up are necessary. So what is the real lesson from Bryan Johnson's story? The lesson is not that every fatigue is autoimmune gastritis. The lesson is also not that every person should get an endoscopy. The real lesson is this: do not ignore the silent signals of your body. If iron keeps going low again and again, if B12 deficiency is not being explained, if fatigue and weakness persist along with an autoimmune thyroid disease, if your report looks normal but you do not feel normal, then it may be time for a deeper evaluation. Because sometimes the body does not scream. Sometimes the body only whispers through numbers. And the story of a measured man like Bryan Johnson teaches us exactly that. Health is not only about getting more tests. Health means understanding the signal that is coming, connecting it, and taking action at the right time. If you found this video informative, share it with people who have thyroid problems, iron deficiency, B12 deficiencies, or unexplained fatigue. And write in the comment, have you ever experienced low ferritin or B12 deficiency? I am Dr. Imran Raza, reminding you, do not ignore the signs of your body because sometimes a small report can be the first clue of a big disease. Your better health is my mission. Goodbye.
My name is Dr. Raza. I am a practicing family physician in USA for the past 18 years. I am an American board-certified physician and diplomate of American Board of Family Medicine.